Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice a week long form podcast, you guys, because I want to talk to the right people to put the right information from the ones who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, so you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. It's also one of the many, many, many reasons why I proudly fly this American flag behind me every single day. A, we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you live yours as well. This is just a complete off-the-cuff show today. I've always said that I will go live if freight's moving, and frankly, it's a privilege to be able to do what I get to do every single day, you guys. And I just feel like, why not come on? Because I know that there's some people out there working, and we're just going to do it. We're going to shoot the shit. I got a guest who I'm going to bring on here in a little bit. He does have permits for them. That's all I'm going to say. But before we do that, as always, you guys, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers. And the best part is you get paid to move these trailers, you guys. That's right. That's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading these trailers out. So what they're working on right now, they got a bunch of trailers out in San Diego, which is where Ron Burgundy's from, going to multiple locations across the United States. And they go anywhere from $1,100 to $2,200 per trailer, you guys. They got some standard swing doors, and then they also have some roll-up doors as well, going out to Texas, Mass, New Hampshire, Arkansas, Indiana, Michigan, Missouri, Tennessee, Minnesota, you name it. They have them literally going to almost everywhere. And then they also have Paragould, Arkansas, going up to Mississauga, Ontario, and you get $736 US to do that, you guys. And you don't have to pick these up right in there. Like you can move these over to Memphis or Nashville or whatever. They just kind of end up in the destination city up there. So hit them up, you guys, vhubapp.com. My friends Zach Lonergan and Stacy Steen, they'll be in the audience. Just do me a favor. Let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Adolfo Rodriguez, happy birthday, USA. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Anthony Tuttle, happy 4th to you. Thank you for tuning in, sir. John Tay Reed, happy 4th. Mario Herrera, happy 4th, everyone. And Andrew Santiago, happy 4th, dialing in from Asia. I like it. Cole Makulik, good morning, sir. Josh Hempstead, happy 4th, brother, as well. Dude, I love it, man. People are tuning in. See, I see, this is why we go live, man. We do this because there's people working out there. They're at least jumping on and saying what's up, which I always appreciate. So I'm going to just go on and bring my man, the myth, the legend, Robert motherfucking Bain, joining in. And that's what I mean. He's got permits for those guns there. He's the strongest man in freight, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, they say says anyway.
What's that?
What the internet says anyway.
Yeah, dude, that's what I would go with. Why not, man? I mean, when you're as fucking stout as you are, you have to go with that.
Yeah, you got to, man. Hey, don't forget to shout out Green Screens. They're one of your sponsors too, and they're fucking dope. So.
Oh, I know. I usually tie in the with them in regards to like building out my brokers, because dude, like that's what we're doing right now, man. And like I legitimately use them every single day. I've seen a massive increase in freight one through utilizing their platform. Data is everything, right? And especially, it's not always about historical. It's about predicting future and really dialing in so you can put the most accurate price out there to, not only increase your profitability, but your carrier partner's profitability as well.
Absolutely. That's the name of the game. And, we talk about that with them. I know I've known Don for a few years, and the team they built there is incredible. Everybody over at Green Screen, Kevin and Meryl and everyone. I know I'm forgetting a few folks, but the team is great. The product's great. But to your point about the increasing carrier profitability, I mean, that's, as a good broker partner, that's what you should be doing. I know we're going to talk about this in Tampa. Shameless plug for the Broker Carrier Summit. But that's one of the things that, if you really want to talk partnership, you're both talking about how you increase revenue, profitability, and efficiency, not just in your own operation, but between each other.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. It's I think that it's one of those situations where again, it's always easier said than done, right? And I try and put that out there all the time.
Because they're opposing incentives.
Yeah, no, exactly. But speaking of incentives, man, I think that's where a lot of this shit derives from, right? Like it's how you incentivize your operations or whomever's booking the freight really directs where the things go with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's
all that.
What's that?
They make the take calls. They're the ones who are deciding, where this freight goes typically.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. But it's also like, I mean, when me and you first got into the industry and everything, like where things are today.
In the time.
Oh man, it's like, dude, I just remember like the first time I booked a load, I had to like physically fax over the rate confirmation to the driver and everything because they were at a truck stop in Southern California. And dude, it's just insane though. But like, again, it's just like progress is everything in this industry. And that's what I love the most about it. I love how it's like such a melting pot of people as well, right? And it's also just the calling card of the United States of America. It's built off of people from different backgrounds and beliefs and everything. And it's just one of those industry. Like I love it. I truly do. Like when my family immigrated here from Germany and Italy and stuff like that, on the German side, there were the truckers and out of Iowa back in the 1930s and everything. And it's like my family's been in this industry for damn near 100 years at this point. And I just want to see it continue to progress and evolve and be that operation or be that like landing spot for so many individuals who come in and, who are just looking for that better life and that opportunity. Right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it can be, it truly, truly can. I think, the cool thing about logistics transportation is it is a microcosm of the American dream. I mean, after deregulation happened, that barrier to entry dropped so low. Which can cause some issues. Let's be real. Yeah. It certainly can be a concern, but again, it's provided so many opportunities for so many people. To your point, I mean, you're talking multiple generations, 100 years of your family being involved in this, and I've been doing this for damn near 20 years now too. So there's a chance. There's 4 Bain kids. There's a chance that one of them gets in. Who knows? So again, you've got generational type of opportunity, which is huge. Yeah. And that's something that you can't necessarily do that in every industry. You can't necessarily do that in a law practice or the banking industry. There's a whole process for that to be able to even get into those industries, and the barriers to entry are very, very high. And so I think that this is great. This is truly the bootstrapped, which we talked about yesterday when we were getting ready for the show. Yeah. This is a bootstrap type of industry, and it allows people to write their own story, which is incredible. And that is, again, the microcosm of America.
Yeah. Hey, amen to that. Sam Hunter, happy 4th. God bless you and your family as well, sir. And Chris Brewer, happy Independence Day from God's country. You can always throw that up from Blake Shelton. That's always a really good song to play on any day of the week. But,
I am a little upset that nobody has said Happy Treason Day yet.
Happy Treason Day. That's funny.
Yeah, I've got a good friend who he does live in the UK, and he WhatsApped me this morning and he said Happy Treason Day, colonist. I'm like, thank you. I will take that.
Dude, that's funny. That's
Never
funny.
Forget you guys blew a 13 colony lead.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. But dude, it's one of those situations though, like, when I feel like the opportunity, even just like being able to accomplish the things that I have in like such a short amount of time, right? Like all things considered, 36 months in building this up. And, again, I'm nowhere near finished. I'm nowhere near anything, but like this wouldn't be possible anywhere else. Right. So it's like, I don't take this shit lightly, like it's not one of those things other than like, man, I have an opportunity to build up my dream built off of like so many sacrifices of so many people prior to give me the opportunity to do this, to say, again, shout out to the First Amendment, right? Like I'm a massive fucking proponent of free speech. I am very anti-censorship of any kind of any of that shit because I want people to be able to speak their mind. Like, dude, me and you could vehemently disagree on fucking everything, but I don't want you to lose your ability to speak your mind and everything.
Absolutely.
And, so it's like, for me, it's like, it's your duty. Like, go out there and speak your mind. If somebody doesn't like it, fuck them, right? Like that's their problem. Seriously, that is 100% their problem if they don't like it. And it's also in today's day and age of technology, just don't fucking listen. Right? Like, don't.
It's crazy. You hit the mute button on that.
Dude, it's so true. It's so true. Man.
True. But so what are you doing for the 4th? I mean, obviously this is a day where freight's still moving. No, we've got a few things that are going on. What are you doing for the 4th? How are you celebrating this freedom today?
Honestly, man, I'm gonna do some work around the house because it's one of those things. I went to Home Depot yesterday. I don't know. Maybe what do they say on maybe go to Home Depot. I don't know if I'll have enough time.
Bed Bath & Beyond, which RIP pouring out for them.
But no, dude.
Bath & Beyond, if we got time, we'll hit Home Depot afterwards too. That's fine.
I'll probably just hang out. I'll grill out a little bit later on, and I'll go to bed early like I normally do. I just stick to my routine, man. Like I have like my house and my office are like 8 miles apart, 7 miles apart from each other. I go to the gym at the exact same time every single day. I'm very routine oriented, but like I thrive in that. Like I thrive in that structure. I don't like it. So it's like, even like today, again, I didn't need to get up at the same time, but I did, right? Because I want to hold myself accountable. And, I also have a sick fucking satisfaction in knowing, like, when I'm driving to the gym in the morning, everybody else is like still asleep and everything. Yep. And, again, you don't have to get up early or any of that shit, like to find success or anything. I just do it because it's hard for me, right? Like getting up as early as I do every day. Like I'm naturally an early riser. So like I would get up at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock without an alarm. So it's like, I get up early because I want to do challenging shit. I want to do hard shit. And then it's also like, when I do get into the office, I'm like, oh, well, fuck, I just got to make some sales calls or send out some sales emails. Like that's the hardest, like I get the hardest part of my day out of the way. But other than that, man, I'm just going to hang out. I'll grill out. I don't know if I'll stay up for fireworks or anything, because I like going to bed early, because although I'm 37, I'm fully happy with being a 70-year-old.
Perfect. Love that.
What about you?
Wife and I did a little staycation. You can see my background here. You can kind of see it, but we did a little staycation down the road from the house. Wasn't optimal for watching fireworks. I know she wanted to go, and I kind of screwed that one up, but I'll try to make it up to her. We're going to the beach today up in Waukegan. But it was kind of cool. We actually watched out the hotel window. There were 6 different fireworks displays that we could see. So that was kind of neat last night.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to go to Waukegan Beach. That's one of our favorite beaches here in the Chicagoland area. And then I got a buddy who's going to come over. We're going to grill out, probably have a drink or two, as I tend to do. And then really just get ready for the rest of the week. Tuesdays are typically one of the few days I don't train. And so today will be a no training day. And then, we're back at it. I've got a meet picked out for later in the year. So we're going to start the slow ramp to that. And, there's some big numbers in mind. So we got to start building towards that.
Fuck yeah, dude. I love it, man.
Yeah,
and
cool.
So what's something that, like looking back, again, like I personally think that, our industry as a whole is like the last great frontier of like the Wild West, you could call it, like the asphalt cowboys, you could call them, or anything like that. But man, I just want to see, I talk about it a lot, is, making trucking great again, and bringing more like bringing awareness to it. But it's also like the fact of the matter is like, we don't have a country without truck drivers, right? Like we don't have a country without the blue collar workers as a whole. And it's like in his days like today, where it's like, you look back, because again, like the majority of the people who fill a lot of those roles are veterans, right? And we don't have a country without the brave men and women who've done everything and paid the ultimate sacrifice and everything out there. So it's like, you have to look at it from that perspective. But again, it's like a lot of them come out and then they do get into the blue collar jobs, whether it's truck drivers or anything like that. And it's like, that's just like, I think, looking out and like bringing that appreciation to the overall, our overall country. But like the work that people do, right. And like, that's another thing too, man, is it's just like, I want people to understand, like, it's not just like a truck driver or a garbage man and or like a cashier. It's like, motherfucker, those people are doing something for you. Like, and it's your duty to bring appreciation to like what people do every single day to keep our communities what our communities are. Because like, no matter what, out of all the turmoil and shit that's going on in our country right now, there is still not a better place on earth than what we have right now. But it takes all of us collectively. Like, I don't care if you're just one person, you're thinking to yourself, like, who am I and what can I do? It's like, as Andy Frisella talks about all the time, it's like personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. It's like being the best version of yourself and also understanding the opportunities that we have here. Right. And I don't think a lot of people, like, I think the American dream is it's very alive for some, but it's like almost like people think it's their right because they were born here, and they don't think that they have to work for it and stuff like that. And, I'll let you kind of run, because I know, but Robert's like,
I let you go, man. It's good. No, there's a few things you hit on there. Well, first things first, I think every time I'm on your show, I mention this. America needs two things: needs truckers and farmers.
Yeah.
You mentioned your family, immigrated to Iowa. I used to live in Iowa. My wife and all my kids were born there, and that is something that was ingrained in me. No pun intended, because grain and farming and all that. But that America needs farmers. And as I got around the industry, I'm like, that's 100% true. And the other thing America needs is truckers. You take those two things away, and I'm sorry, the whole country shuts down in 72 hours.
Yeah, max.
Done. You're done. And so one, understanding the need for that. Two, when you talk about blue collar jobs for so long, especially our generation, it was very much looked down on. I mean, look at they pulled wood shop, auto shop, all these things out of schools and told us all go to college and get your degrees, get your business degree, your education degree, whatever you're gonna do, right? And do all these things and get that really nice expensive bar receipt, because that's what it was for the majority of us. And then do what with it? And then we look at all these shortages for mechanics and for drivers, even though driver utilization then a shortage, but it's getting there, with the aging population. Yeah. And what we never talk about is, think about this: when you're driving an 80,000 pound missile down the road, that's what they're doing, right? And if you in your four-wheeler bump a curb or you shift lanes accidentally because you're checking a text message, no one really cares as long as you don't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
And even if you do, you're still probably going to get off. A professional driver does that and their whole life is over.
Correct.
And the decisions they have to make day in and day out. And I know we've all heard the number before, and I can't remember what it is, but every minute they have to make a series of, it's like a 5-figure series of decisions.
Yeah.
And do this constantly. So you look at the mental strain that actually goes in. This is not just, hit the gas and slam the gears, even though that is certainly a thing. I mean, there are tons of intellectual pieces of this that are incredibly important that we just don't talk about ever.
Yeah.
Even as an industry, we know it and we don't talk about it. And that's something that needs to be appreciated for the professional driver, for all those that are in support of drivers. So that's going to be your mechanics. That's going to be even your law enforcement, as much as some people may not like them. All these people are making decisions that impact our goods, our the things that we purchase, our safety on the highways and byways. And that's something that is, to me, is just, it's lost and it needs to come back, is that you don't just say, I appreciate a driver. You have to understand what it is they actually do. And I'll be honest, if you work in this industry, you never sat down at a truck stop and talked to a truck driver, you're doing yourself a massive disservice.
Yeah, dude, I'm right there with it. But I also look at it like this too. The amount of small business owners that are in our industry, right? Because America is built off of small business, right?
Correct.
It is absolutely built off of it. And, in looking at that and the resources that are out there, and again, I am fucking anti big government and big government regulations and all that shit, right? They need to fucking know as little about us as humanly possible. That's my, I'm anti government overreach and all of that stuff. And there's enough rules and regulations that are out there that prohibit people to make a living, right? And that's what a lot of it is it's there's so many people who come here, whether they were born here, and they want to get in to trucking, or they immigrated here and they want to get into driving and earn that small business. And there's so many fucking hurdles that so many people have to jump through to get out and to really just to fucking make it, right? Because it's expensive as shit to do this. And then you don't even talk about the stresses of the jobs after the fact, right? Because it's that's the thing that's not talked about ever. And I had a front row seat at that with my dad, driving for as long as he did. I saw it first fucking hand. And the sentiment that he always said, and this was the reason, because literally I tried so hard up until the day he died to let me interview him, right? I'm like, Dad, just let me, I want to talk about driving back in the 70s and the 80s. And and he refused, downright refused, because he had always said, he's like, Chris, a couple things is nobody gives a fuck about a truck driver. And then he said, because the general sentiment out there is driver, go lay by your dish. When you show up somewhere, driver, go lay by your dish, and again, that's what was my dad's opinion. And it's funny because people when I go on other people's podcasts and stuff, they're like, oh, talk about certain things. And they're like, oh, what? And a common question is, because it's known that I come from a family of truck drivers, is, they're always like, oh, what would your dad say about the current state of the industry? I'm like, you don't want to know what my dad would say. Because he wasn't fucking politically correct by any. If you think I have a foul mouth, I'm PG compared to the way that the old man was, but but dude, it's because it's like, the appreciation factor of the opportunity that people have to build, because like this is the only place on earth where you can come with little to no money or minimal education and become very fucking wildly successful, right? Like there's no other place on earth that you can do that. And it's like we need to get back to those, just like I just think it's like, the overall support factor and shit, like that's one of the main driving reasons why I go live every single day, and I bring, and I talk, bring smarter people than me of different things, of different facets of the industry on my show to talk, is because like
that's why I'm on the holiday,
Yeah, exactly, because it's the lowest viewed one. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's like I want that melting pot of information where somebody who is, they can't afford a course, they can't afford a mentor or anything like that. They're just out there trying to figure it out because there's no fucking playbook to this. And I want them to be able to come and just have a catalog of information that they can apply to their business and not feel like, oh, hey, somebody is trying to take something else away. Like we're already taxed enough in this country. We don't fucking need, and, yeah. And it's like, we don't need any other fees associated with helping people succeed, right? Because I feel like that's what this fucking country was founded on, right? It's just like a collective group of misfits, because that's essentially what the original people were. We're a collective group of fucking misfits coming and self-governing and like helping each other, helping your neighbors out, and just putting that information out there for people. Because again, I'm not right all the time, but fuck, I know a lot of what not to do, and I think that there's some value in that.
Absolutely, I'd rather learn from other people's mistakes than my own. It's a lot less painful.
Yeah, true.
You hit on something about with your dad. I think is another thing that I say a lot when I'm explaining like what we do, like to people that are not in the industry. So I get that question a lot, and I mentioned it in my story for Green Screens. By the way, go vote for Gator Got Me on the Green Screens page. Still trying to win that $500, but when I explain to people about what we do in our industry, it's everybody wants what's on a truck. Nobody wants to deal with a trucker.
Mm-hmm.
And that what's interesting is when I started saying that a few years ago, that hits people like, yeah, 100%. Like, I hate dealing with trucks. They're always in my way. I'm like, yeah, but you want everything on there.
Yeah.
So like, it's catch-22 here, guys. But you also hit it too with the celebrating, people going out and doing something for themselves. I mean, you've seen this starting a small business. I saw my parents do this. I've done this, having started, side hustles, stuff like that. Is always you're really going to do that? You think you're going to make it? And first of all, if you're the person who says that, fuck you. Like, go fuck yourself.
100%.
Because it's like putting your inability to succeed or your inability to take a chance on other people, like, you're a shithead. And we should go back to that where we celebrate, or even if you like don't believe somebody's going to make it, like, cool, like you can even right to say call me when you do, like, and also don't ask for discounts.
Yeah,
like if people give out discount codes, great, but like that's one of the worst things you can do is ask your friend for a discount when they're trying to make their business work, or if they have made their business work. Like, yeah. And I mentioned before the show, we're talking about going to bench in Erie, or in New York, when I was there a couple weeks ago. The guy who makes my gear, Rudy, has talked to me about being a sponsored athlete for a few years now. I have a great relationship with him, Rudy at Overkill Strength Systems, and I told him, so Rudy, I have no problem with you sponsoring me in the fact that I'll wear all your stuff, but I still want to pay for all my shit. And he's like, well, why? I'm like, well, one, you're my friend. I want to support my friend's business. Yeah. Like, enough other people ask for free shit from you, so I don't want to do that. And two, like, I still want to write my own course. Like, if your bench shirt is dog shit, like, I'm gonna go get another one. Like, I want a different one that's gonna actually work, because like what I wear doesn't matter. My total is what matters in that case. Mm-hmm. And so going back to the industry, like, you should be looking for ways you can support your friend's business. You can't do it financially, dude. Repost their stuff. I mean, I talk about you, Trey, and Ryan Schreiber to every new person in the industry. I'm like, if you subscribe to these three people and you listen to them religiously for a year, you will gain 2 decades worth of knowledge. Boom, done.
Yeah. Dude, that's the thing is like it, like you said, if you can't afford it, support it in some way, shape, or form, and share their message out there. Right. And, it's like, dude, I just feel like, again, back down to the freedom of speech thing. Like, get out there and just fucking share your opinion on shit too. Share your message and really help your neighbors in whatever way, shape, or form to help elevate their businesses and everything else, right? Because it's just like, again, like everything here at one point in time was a small business. Now there's some that have since grown into massive fucking entities, but still,
kudos to them. That's awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know what the exact stats are. I'm going to Google it right now. But on the percentage of businesses in the United States that are small business, but
it's got to be 90%.
Yeah, at least. Let me see.
Speaking of small business, it became a big enterprise. Google.
True. Yes. Holy fuck. Is that real? 99.9%?
Sounds about right.
It says 99.9%. It says how many small businesses are there in the U.S.? The latest statistic shows that there are 33.2 million small businesses, which account for 99.9% of all U.S. businesses. That was from the Small Business Administration. I'm going to cite this source so I don't get fucking whatever.
That's why they have the Fortune 1000, and then there's everybody else.
No, dude, for sure. But and that's the thing is, it's just like, man, it means so much to those small companies too. Like getting out there and again, it's like support whatever causes, because like it doesn't matter what you fucking believe in. There's going to be a business out there that aligns with you, right? And again, back down to freedom. If that business doesn't align with your beliefs, don't fucking shop there. I think it's a pretty simple philosophy.
100%.
With a lot of
knowing what they support and just determining how you spend your dollar. That's the best way to vote, by the way, is not necessarily, even though you should always vote because it's a great right that we have.
I always vote, yes.
But the best way to vote is with your dollar.
100%. 100% agree. So, dude, I agree with that. And, because again, it's just like, it's a pretty simple thing. We the people. I mean, I would always challenge everybody. Read the Declaration of Independence if you haven't. Read the Bill of Rights. Read what our rights are here, because I think like it gets muddied when you rely on, and I know how this is going to sound, when you rely on social media and others to kind of tell you. Again, my opinions are my opinions at the end of the day. You don't have to fucking agree with them, but I think that going out there and reading the Constitution, reading the Bill of Rights, reading everything that is out there and what this country is actually stands for, not what people want you to believe it stands for. It is very crucial, right? Because at the end of the day, I believe in freedom for everything, like is as long as you're not harming others, I don't give a fuck, right? Like, do you? I truly believe in freedom at the end of the day. And I believe in the opportunities, because again, if you're an American, you deserve the right to liberty in the pursuit of happiness. Like, I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you believe in or anything like that. As long as you're a good person and you're not harming anybody, like I said, you deserve the right to pursue all of that. And I fully fucking support you. Even if you fucking hate me and everything I stand for, if you hate the fact that I fly the American flag behind me every single day, that's cool. That's your right as an American. I don't have to fucking agree with it, but again, go out there and do it, but I'll read that shit and actually appreciate what it stands for, because it is, and I feel like every single year is another year that we should be coming together more as a country to really elevate all the shit up, because I truly feel like 95% of the people just want to fucking work hard, be left alone, and go home to their families. But we somehow keep elevating that 5%, and because it's the negativity, it gets the clicks, it gets the fucking downloads. Absolutely. But it's also the same reason, to tie it into that's why I don't talk about a lot of the shit that's hot button in the issue, because I don't want anybody to listen to my stuff because, he's talking about this topic only. And because that's not my identity. My identity is built on moving this industry forward, just like my identity as a person is to move this country forward and to have it back realigned with what it was intended for, not what some people are trying to fucking make it. Sure,
absolutely. I think as you read through, because I agree with you, I think people need to read those historical documents and understand and what's actually said and how it was written, and certainly looking for context and what it was written around. That's important. And doing that for yourself. Certainly it's great to get some help from different resources like social media and like other research, so it can kind of help guide you as far as where to go and see the information for yourself. Whenever you read through this stuff, it's important, and I posted this on LinkedIn, I posted it on Instagram, my story. I always come back to Ben Gates and National Treasury. Mm-hmm. The men that signed their name on that document 200 plus years ago, almost 200. Yeah, 47. It's crazy how long ago it was. They were committing high treason. if they lost that war, everything would be taken from their lives. Everything was gone. Their families, they would be erased from the history books, and no one ever knew what they stood for. And they believed so much in that they were willing to risk everything because they were comfortable. Like, these were dusty old rich white men. Like, they did not need to sign this.
Yeah.
But they believed so much in that they were willing to do it because they knew that what they were doing was right. Because they were going to create a nation that, for all its imperfections, listen, I get it. It's not perfect. It's not. It's as perfect as we got.
Correct.
And what's great about it is we still have the opportunity to go and make it better. Because, to your point, you can do what you want. You can love who you want. You can play where you want. All these things you can do here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly there are things that are in the works that are trying to inhibit that, whatever. We still are the freest country in the world. And
Correct.
That is what those men signed that document for. And so when I always say the joke of, to high treason, it's important to recognize what that was and what that meant. Because they didn't know the ending like we do.
Yeah.
And
straight up.
But in their mind's eye, they did. And that's what I think is so important as you read through these things. Like, these guys wanted this because they wanted a nation that 250 years after they're gone, we could be sitting here talking on, this crazy witchcraft machine that they would have no idea what to do with, and be able to talk about how free and how awesome, how fucking incredible America is.
Yeah, dude. Well said, man. And it's true. And I'll never lose sight of that and the appreciation that I have to live and raise my family here and grow my business here. Because again, like, it's, I truly, I stand by my beliefs and my ideals. Like, I don't shy away from the fact that I'm a man of faith. I pray every single day. I am very appreciative of the opportunities that are in front of me due to what was sacrificed to get me to this point, and everybody's got a story in their family and everything that they can tie back to. But again, it's just like looking at that from that perspective where it's like, man, you gotta exercise your rights. And like, don't be fucking silenced for anything. And again, you can disagree with fucking everything I say. I will never, ever, ever advocate for you to be censored or lose your right to say anything that you believe in, right? Because the beauty of free speech, the beauty of the way that this country is structured is, we all have that right. We all have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we need to collectively as a country realize that there are some, misrepresented, and underrepresented groups and everything, but it takes us to fucking push back against all the bullshit, right? Like, they were talking about the tyranny and everything back in the day. And, and you could argue that it's bringing itself back at full force right now from the establishment and, from the whole. And that's both flocks of the sides of the aisle there. That's not one.
Because none of them care about us.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it's just like, it's going to take us as a society to keep this country intact of what it was built off of, so we can make it better and make it into what it was actually intended to be at the end of the day. And I know that it's the 4th of July and I want to be mindful of everybody's time. We went a few minutes over, but as always, Robert, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody jumping in on the comments today.
Thank you, everyone. Yes,
pretty lively as a whole, but that's going to be it, you guys. We'll be back tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central. Get out there, enjoy the 4th of July with your family. Appreciate everything that we have here.
Make America great again.
Make America. Yeah. Appreciate your neighbors. And let's get back down to loving each other for who we are and really pushing this country back into the greatness that it was intended for, because it's going to come from all of us, you guys, who are the quote unquote deplorables out there, so that's going to be it, you guys. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.